and then just this super random tat on my leg. So that was really what I was like wanted to see. What kind of body would it give me?
You can tell it. They train this off a lot of ASOS models that are covered in tattoos.
Welcome to the Friday Flow with Jordan and let's go. Fact news and all the trends. Tune in now with your friends.
Willy boy, Bewley boy. What's up?
What's up, Nems?
How's it going?
It's flow time.
It's flow time. It's still Friday flow, although it is Wednesday. Tomorrow's a holiday. Or sorry, Friday's a holiday.
Whatever day we're on.
Still pushing it out on Thursday. Maybe we'll get lower viewership because of the 4th, but starting next week.
What are you doing for your holiday weekend?
Nothing. I'm literally going to do nothing. I'm going to use Resort Pass. Me and my wife are going to go to a pool. Just going to find a pool and hang out.
Hey,
that's it.
You've got to be by the water on the 4th, I think. So that
Yeah.
makes sense.
What are you doing?
Yeah, also not much.
Yeah, nice.
And I'm here for it.
Love it. I know there's something about nothing that is everything, you know what I mean? All right, let's dive in. I'm going to start with something that's kind of dumb. It's not a story. It is an app that launched this week, actually from Google. And you know what, Google? You should do better. But it's still kind of fun, so I wanted to just go for it. It's called Doppl. Have you heard of it?
Let's see
Have
it.
you seen it? So I think
No,
we've talked
but
about
I'm
it in the
excited.
past. They have some technology that allows you to try on clothes when you're shopping online, or like make it look like you're trying on clothes. So they launched an app, obviously. It's supposed to be used from screenshots. So like you screenshot something when you're surfing on the web, and then you can pop it into Doppl and see what it looks like on you. So I thought I'd give it a go. All right. Let's start with this guy. So I uploaded just a random picture of me. It was in this office. This is actually our office from New York. And here's me in some weird clothes. And then I put on some other outfit. I guess, oh yeah, you can see what it looks like.
Where you got it from?
It's it's not what it's supposed to look like buttoned up like that. It looks
It
like
decided to
pajamas.
button up for you. Yeah.
It's not supposed to look like that. And then this was my favorite. I uploaded one to see what kind of like bod it would give me. Because like obviously I have a shirt on in the picture. Gave me this like weird, I don't even know what's going on. Big old belly button. Like a
tat as well.
Tiny bit of chest hair. Yeah, and then just this super random tat on my leg. So that was really what I was like wanted to see. What kind of body?
That's
would it give me?
amazing.
So,
You can tell it. They
Can I
train
zoom
this up
in?
a lot of ASOS models that are covered in tattoos. And
Totally.
so
I mean,
they thought that's your look.
This is the look. So the guy's like just stacked with tats, and he's got just like insane abs, which I was wondering if they'd put on me. And they're like, no,
Nope.
he's gonna a little flub. He's gonna get a little thing going there.
Little dad bod.
It's a total
That'd be
dad
also
bod.
so weird if you were standing in the office dressed like that. That would be odd.
That's true. That's very true. It's a good point.
We did talk about this. I was just gonna say we did talk about this a little bit with as it relates to agentic commerce in the past. One of the like complete misses that it has with this try on at home is fit, right? And so you have no idea actually what this clothing really looks like for you. Like if you try on 10 different white t-shirts, they're all going to be a completely different fit. And so I think it's not there yet. There's still a lot more data that's needed and that we're excited to be bringing to market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More to in its defense,
seen in this space.
It doesn't know my bod. So by looking at the picture that I gave it, like it doesn't know what to do with that. That's why I was just curious.
It needs
Maybe
like
statistically, that's
deep,
what I should look like.
It needs like an O3 deep reasoning like follow-up question before you do it. It's like, thanks for uploading that image. Can you answer these 3 questions? And then it'll be a bit more close to the mark.
Yeah. Nah, I'd rather just go with this. It's fine. Let it think. Okay. We talked about this last week, Will. Meta offered 100 mil for quite a few of the researchers over at OpenAI, just a signing bonus. Pretty insane. Sam Altman came out and said, this is just Meta trying to poach and no one's going to go over there. At least no one went over there at the time that we recorded last week. But a few people have, I believe 3 people have left and gone over to Meta, each receiving $100 million in cash, which is pretty insane. So obviously there was a quick response from Sam Altman. His line is, missionaries will beat mercenaries. Ruthless. I love it. But it's quite interesting. This article in particular talks about how the stock of OpenAI is clearly going to be exponentially higher than Meta eventually once they succeed with their artificial superintelligence. And he made a point that this is going to add a very interesting toxic culture to Facebook, to Meta in general. So what do you think? A, would you have taken the 100 mil and gone? And B, like, do you buy it? Or do you think this is, for Meta, worth the 100 mil each? And are they going to see the ROI of it?
Yeah. Well, I think first off, we kind of talked about it. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Where this is like more like we're trading like superstars. It's like a basketball team at this point with like max contracts. 100 million was the like number that really hit a chord in the press. Wired actually went and reported that someone made a package of 300 million paid out over a few different years, including a 100 million sign-on bonus. It's truly generational wealth. It'll be wild to not take one of these deals. You do think though that like if you're one of these AI researchers at OpenAI, to their letter, they said it feels like someone broke into their house. Maybe you're having someone burglarize right now while you're podding. But yeah, I will say maybe the comp, if you've been at OpenAI from the very beginning, could be similar, right? You could be sitting on like 100 million of stock. Will OpenAI allow you to take that when you left? Maybe, maybe not. There was some controversy and people leaving in the past around what they actually have access to, because also it's not a for-profit company, right? And so there is no guarantee the OpenAI money is going to be worth what they say it's going to be worth. And Meta is a very liquid business, so actually, theoretically, you could really be making a lot of money in this move.
I totally agree. 100 million, 300 million, who cares between those two? It's not
silly money.
Spend 100, silly money at that point. But yeah, I think I probably would have taken it. Why not? It's 100 mil. Would have been nice. What do you think about
if they lose anyone else?
What do you think about the culture? Like the culture that this creates at Meta? Because like everyone's gonna know these like 3 or 4 people are 100 millionaires. What's
I guess how does it work in professional basketball? There's the LeBron James of a team, but there's also someone that's super down the list that doesn't play every game. How does it work in those teams? I mean, I think if you are going to be able to ride a wave, it's pretty nice, right? If you're like a C player and you just want to like phone it in and hang out, it's probably great for you. If you are an aspiring A player, yeah, it'll probably give you some real frustration, and you'd want to talk to your manager about it. And so I think maybe the risk that they're actually possessing is that everyone now expects that they're worth 50 or $100 million. And so they can afford it, but do they want to start setting that bar, that expectation within the company? That's the real risk, I think, here, is like this thing spiraling out of control with everyone wanting that. It's fine if you pay 5 people 100 million. I mean, it's insane, but it's doable as Meta. It's not if there's like 3,000 people also wanting that, right?
Yeah.
So where that line is drawn is risky.
What if you were the manager of someone that you knew was making 100 million? I was thinking, do you think these people are going to report directly to like Alex Wang or
we said
Mark?
that. We said that like most of the S&P 500 or whoever, like Tim Cook does not get paid this much money, and he runs like an entire company, right? So yeah, we'll see if managers really start leaving about this. But I think it does go to show that truly, these companies believe that there are like 10,000x engineers or 10,000x AI researchers. They exist and they're willing to pay for it. So these people are not like other people, I guess, is what Zuck's trying to do.
Makes sense. Moving on to something just totally weird and random, but also quite near and dear to my heart because I was semi-involved in it, if that makes sense. Okay.
Is it about burgers in San Francisco?
No, it happens to be about North Korea remote IT workers.
You were very close to this. I remember.
Kind of. I mean, yes, I was. It's kind of crazy. And the reason why I say I was close to it is because we actually interviewed somebody and they made it through pretty far into the process, to the point where I interviewed them personally twice. Once because as just like the first round interview of a founder, they were a pretty seasoned engineer, or we thought so. And then I got a little sketched, and so I did a second round interview just because I was like, wait, this is weird. And it was weird. It's because it was a North Korean spy. It was wild. Basically, what they're doing is I say spy, they kind of are spies, but the core reason for what they're doing is actually to generate cash for North Korea. So the operation is they have a bunch of these like probably pretty good engineers that are going around and trying to get employment in IT companies around the US. They go through the interview process, they get the job. It's insanely hard to track them. Actually, what this operation did is it found a laptop farm in, I believe, New Jersey. And so there were some people actually within the U.S. Bounds and the borders actually like putting this operation on. It wasn't completely from North Korea. And so they were actually using laptops from North Korea, proxying through the laptops here in New Jersey and interviewing and actually getting jobs and writing code, seeing the insides of these companies, generating paychecks. Those paychecks were going back to North Korea. And then if they were able to obtain any sort of proprietary information, whether that's code or just like anything, they were sucking all the information out and giving it to North Korea. Pretty wild. All in all, it says they only generated $6 million in cash, which is a little low. I thought that number would be a lot higher.
ROI.
Yeah, very low ROI, but it doesn't say how much data they were able to pull out. So, and it's an operation. It almost fooled us. I mean, it really it was pretty wild. But when we found out what it was, kind of blew our minds. So technically, we were part of the story.
Jeez. Yeah, it's we talked a little bit about corporate espionage, didn't we, with the battle between Deal and Rippling and sending watches to London.
Yeah.
There's a lot of espionage that I think happens, and whether that's like government level or corporate level, it's bad. And I think no private company is truly set up to really expect to catch a lot of this. And so, this is kind of scary stuff. Whether it's trade secrets or it's actual cash going out the door, it's not ideal. It's less than ideal. So I will say in this world of AI, we see it with some hires, some recruiting that we're doing. It's harder than ever, right? Or it's easier than ever for people to get into companies without just the regular sort of resume and background check speaking for them. So this is definitely unprecedented times.
What's your advice? Is for reference checks. So we always do reference checks. This was where we knew for a fact we got duped. We kind of knew before, but I wanted to go through with it and see just how far this went. So during reference checks, I recommend going to LinkedIn and instead of just taking the reference's name and number and just calling them and talking to them, just shoot them a little LinkedIn message and say, hey, just want to verify that you are this reference that I am talking to on the phone right now. And
you got a two-factor.
So easy.
Two-factor authorize. Yeah.
It's so easy.
2FA it.
It's too easy. Just do it, please. Do it. Okay. Last but not least, Figma IPOing, or at least they're beginning the process to IPOing. It's wild. I mean, they had was a $20 billion acquisition that was going to go through with Adobe. That got wiped out. And so they didn't waste much time. They said, okay, well, we only have one other path and it's IPO. I was actually reading the Fast Company article. They said it was a $20 million acquisition by Adobe. Incorrect. So it's $20 billion acquisition. That'd be pretty wild. But yeah, I mean, Figma is an insane company. I'll be honest, I was surprised and not surprised about how they got blocked from the deal with Adobe. I consider it semi-competitive a year or two ago. I think it's getting more competitive, so it makes sense. But yeah, what do you think? How do you think this IPO is going to go? What do you think about it getting blocked originally? Just what do you think about Figma?
Yeah, well, we love Figma here at Woflow.
We do.
Our design team, our product team, and more recently myself as well have been really getting behind the product. We've been building more recently our slides in there, and shout out to Fiona, our manager on our design team, for forcing my hand away from Google Slides into Figma Slides. I think once you go back, you can't go back, and so it is amazing. It's a truly world-class product. The stats that we saw out of their S1 filing kind of suggest nothing else than that. They have 90% gross margins. They have 132% net dollar retention, which means that for every customer that's buying stuff a year later, they're buying more stuff. 78% of the Forbes 2000 uses Figma. So truly is super embedded into the majority of main kind of customers you care about today, actually make less revenue than I thought they would. 800 million over the last 12 months is actually growing 46% year over year. It's actually a bit lower than I was expecting, especially for like a $20 billion acquisition price.
That's like not even 8 research engineers at OpenAI.
Right.
That'd be $800 million, right?
Instead of this acquisition, they could just buy like 2 good like Alex Wangs and a couple,
easy.
and that's it. But yeah, so like the company is amazing. The company's doing super well. Like they got blocked. I think it was like a UK regulator that actually blocked this deal. I'm not sure what the UK has to do with Adobe or Figma being American companies, but sure. It reminded me, and what I wanted to bring up as well, it reminded me of the failed Visa Plaid acquisition. So a couple of years ago now, Plaid, who are the fintech darling, they got a blocked deal by Visa by the DOJ here in the US over like a $3.5 billion acquisition price. They went on and raised a massive round at like a 15 billion or something post. So, they're doing super well privately without being acquired. Now, Figma's going it alone as well. They're going public. There's some base case estimates for this. It's probably, from what I'm reading on the wires, it probably will go out at a similar kind of rate. So maybe not 20 billion, but not far off that number when it goes public. And I know a lot of people want to hold that stock. So I think it's super interesting. I think it's very courageous that so many people as well worked there and thought they were getting this crazy payday. And then it got like ripped up in front of their faces. It takes courage as leaders, but also as the team to kind of stick that through, continue to ship, which they do. We keep seeing new features and products every day. And now this is hopefully going to be a very exciting next chapter for the company.
We wish them the best of luck, and I will be buying some Figma stock.
Also,
FIG is going to be their ticker.
FIG is coming soon. The one thing from the S1 filing, which I think is pretty funny, they have a $1.5 billion cash on balance sheet, and that's more money than they've ever raised. So then you'd think, well, they've been like super profitable. That makes sense. It's not. They have $1.5 billion on the balance sheet in cash because they got $1 billion breakup fee from the failed acquisition. So they've got $1 billion just sitting there that they didn't do anything to get. That's pretty nice. That's a pretty tasty breakup fee.
It was a $1 billion breakup fee? Holy
on a 20 billion
smokes.
M&A, yeah. So make sure you've got those bankers working for you overtime if you're trying to do M&A. Get those big breakup fees in there.
Wow.
It's
I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole here, but because it was being blocked in the EU, couldn't they still have gone through with it? They just couldn't operate in the EU. Do you know?
Yeah. I think the threat would be that they would get banned from those countries. I mean, it's a huge market, especially for someone like Adobe. So they don't really want to do that. I think you see that a little bit with like Apple threatening to like remove iMessage from the EU over GDPR and things like that. I think a lot of big companies threaten it, but I've not seen anyone actually remove their products out of the EU yet. It's still a massive market.
Yeah.
Let's hope that people can get deals done in the future. It seems like they are. It seems like IPOs are going great. How is Chime doing at this point? Still rocking?
I didn't look today. I'm not supposed to look every day. It's not really, you just train myself not to do that. But at the end of last week, it was sitting pretty at around 33, 34. And so hopefully it'll stay there or go up. It's the idea.
We'll add Fig to our stock trackers
watch list.
in the future.
Love it. Awesome. Well, this might be the last Friday flow. We might be changing our name. TBD.
Why would you do such a thing?
I don't know, but I wanted to,
the Wednesday flow.
Little hint that maybe next week the name will change. If you haven't noticed, we don't do this on Friday anymore. So probably should change the name.
Make sure you subscribe so you can be the first to find out the name.
Subscribe. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Smash all the buttons, and we'll see you next week for dun dun dun. We'll find out next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Jordan.
Bye.